up against right now is a battle. And I don't want you out there working hard to pay an attorney. And if we have to get an attorney as a county, you're paying twice for an attorney.
So how many people can come to the July 8th meeting?
I'll be here.
Okay.
Is it here?
That's the one.
Just to back up a little bit on that July 8th meeting, when the county first bought the right-of-way against our wishes, they announced that they would start the planning process in July. And we protested and said, for the majority of us, that's our busiest time of the year. And they did it anyway, right in the middle of harvest. And that's some you'll listen to on the tape, is they make some, they think, humorous comments about that. And
Well, I'm embarrassed.
as a resident of Benton County, I'm extremely embarrassed at what's on those tapes.
Jerry and I have gone to the county commissioners at different times.
Sounds
And
pretty interesting.
signed in at the back, on the thing to say something. They never even called on us.
For public testimony?
Yeah, they never called on us. They just completely put it aside.
Really?
Yes.
Recently?
No, this was last
It's been addressed. since
last
that day.
campaign.
Because Dennis, I mean, he's keeping,
He wasn't here then.
yeah, he's keeping top.
And
It's like-
they are very rude.
Well,
I find them to be very rude people, and I don't appreciate them at all.
I can tell you that I think that a lot of people don't realize what the job of county commissioner is. And a lot of what's getting done is not county commissioner's job. Especially now having a COO. The COO runs everybody, staff, direction, what's been set out for the county. He runs everything.
Is that the county manager? I guess I'm the county manager now. You
Yeah,
didn't used to have one, did you, or did you?
The
No.
county commissioners did
Years
it, but
ago.
they had people hired to help them. And now we have somebody that's their job.
Yeah.
And the county commissioner's job is to work with the state, the federal government to basically be able to afford to do what's mandated. Because if you look at the budget,
How much does he make quite a bit of money, that is
I
county?
think it makes 150.
More than
Oh,
commissioners.
really?
Yeah.
Really?
That's,
For doing their job?
that's
For,
good salary.
So they still get their job, they still get their vacation.
yeah, they get don't you guys get $79,000 a year or something, pay something like
Well,
that?
they just went through a pay raise thing, so I haven't heard what that's gonna be.
Okay. But it's around there.
Yeah. But if you look at, Association of Counties has a plastic card that you can get from them. Then it shows what the federal mandate, what the state mandate is, and then it shows what the county's mission, what they're supposed to do. And what the counties, and if you talked about what happens if all the money dries up, well, you go down to that.
You get rid of
And
that.
that's make sure that we control diseases by having a health department that just gives you a shot. We inspect the restaurants and the pools to make sure that people aren't running a dirty place. It's to make sure that roads work, and we have sheriff's office, and outside of that, we're outside of our mandate. We come to you and say we need to, millions and millions and millions of dollars more, and then you go to pay your tax bill and it's $500 more than it was the last time. You're going, when's this gonna stop? Well, I just read the paper today, and then Benton's gonna go after our levy, and then the county wants to go for a levy for the jail, and it doesn't end. And it's like, okay, inflation, I'm making less money every year. They're allowed by law to raise my taxes 3% a year, plus levies. Well, guess where the rest of the tax is? It's called fees. If you took what we pay in taxes, what we pay in levies, what we pay for bonds, and we add up all the fees, well, there's no money left for us. That's why it's so difficult to make it anymore. I told my wife, I said, our business makes a lot of money. I said, we're broke all the time. Why is that? And you start looking at what it takes to run a business. Just the basics of it. What it takes to run a business it's working against us being profitable.
Spend more.
And I'm small scales compared to everybody in this room, but I still feel it. And the things you can do to improve that is make sure that, have anybody ever thought about that the law allows you to raise your property tax by 3% a year, but they allow you to do 0? I mean, you ever think about that, the inflation's so bad this year that we're gonna make it so we're not gonna raise property taxes the next time? No, because they forecast out how to pay for these bonds with the fact that we can raise money, it's future money that we can count on. But in order to stop having to do that, you have to stop thinking about that revenue's gonna be there, because it's not gonna be.
Do the county commissioners, do they just say, we want a levy, we're gonna take this much money, or do you have to put a vote to the people?
Well, there's $10 out of everything, fire districts, road districts, counties, cities, everything that can't go outside of that $10. So what happens is if there's a urban renewal district or something that drops off, then everybody else gets a little bit more money in the levies they already have. It's called compression. And in the paper today, they show, I think it's one of the districts that showed that how much money they were losing from compression. And so they're always playing for that money. And so if they go off their levy, that means that something's gonna free it up, because it's not there. And all the other districts have the right to stop that. They can say, no, you're not gonna do that. So
So there's a lot of infighting about people scrambling for the money?
no, because everybody gets a little piece of pie, they love it.
Oh, okay. So they kind of work together to
Yeah.
get it?
Yeah. And, and if I had to sit down here and say, we have needs for stuff, I looked up, it took a long time, I looked at everything the county owns. So I could put 4 sale signs on enough to buy the jail. We have enough surplus buildings in Corvallis that we could buy a jail with cash. But then as a commissioner, I'd come out and say, we came up with the money to buy the jail, I need an operating levy. And that would be part of the levy that's already in place, because that's a health and safety levy. It would be part of that, it's just that.
So that would go to a vote of the people, that would just be put on by
Well-
the commissioners, but a bond measure would be voted of the people?
Anytime you do a bond or you do a levy, you have to, the people decide.
Oh, okay, I wasn't sure, I thought the county commissioner did say we want more money.
No, just like Ann was saying, she was in charge of one of the PACs that was pushing the levy through last time. And I was in charge of the signs that got put up that said, vote no on it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if they could arbitrarily just say, we want more money, here.
Well, they have, if they get a levy for 90 cents a thousand, they can make it less and still have the right to raise it back up.
Oh, I see.
So once you vote on something, there's 2 ways to get more money out of that. One is compression allows more money to come out, and the other is that you're under what you're allowed and you raise it. And right now they're at max, they took the maximum out. Before they took less because the money they're getting for timber dollars, they were
Offsetting.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand.
There's a lot of need, but there's other ways to come up with the money.
The bikers.
If you were gonna present something for that loop or something like that, and put toilets up there and all that, and you had this money freed up and you'd put that in there, you'd put, that, we'd lobby with the legislators, county commissioners is part of what they would do. We'd lobby to say that Benton County wants to do this, and we wanna make lobby for a law to make bicyclists pay $20 a year or something.
Can we base on the value of the bike?
Probably.
Yeah,
So,
$3,000
yeah, people go and buy like
$4,000
bikes
bicycles,
here, so I'd like to make sure they're paying more, yeah.
And that would come from people like you, that I would say that if I'm a legislator, I would go out and I'd try to find people that were interested in a project but didn't have an agenda to push something besides what's best for everybody.
What we do with boats and, even down
That's
to
right.
canoe, you pay a fee to float on the
Yeah,
river, and
but
that money goes back into invasive species control.
Yep.
As far as the value of the bike though, that's, with automobiles, it has nothing to do with the value of the automobile, so
I'm just trying to get back to
That's a
the guys
sales
who
tax.
fit our bikes and items.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. There's some of those bicycles that are like $4 grand.
Oh, you're just getting started.
Yeah. At a swing.
I have another, I don't want to monopolize or try myself and several people in here, and I think a lot of people are aware of it, we have a large Hispanic population here in Benton County. And I've talked to many of them, or not many of them, several of them. And a lot of times they, because of their families or their culture, I don't know what it is, they don't have a lot of things necessarily for them to do. Like, they don't necessarily have, like, I mean, this is gonna sound terrible, but a lot of their cultures in some of the families centered around having a family gathering, and they had cockfighting. And they would, because each would bring their own favorite cock to the party, and they would, they weren't killing them, they were just, it was in fun. And so when the law passed that, it wasn't allowed, cockfighting in Oregon, and I'm not an advocate of it, it's just my example, it eliminated some of the things that they enjoyed doing. And so I don't know if there's, I've asked them, a couple of the families, what they like to do, and they like to fish, and they like to do things, but it's harder to get public places to go fishing. So I don't know where I'm kind of moving towards is, are there any things that you guys have planned